Hello everybody, this is Mike from MBoxWave.com. I just got into trade here on this morning's Emini S&P 500, and this is actually pretty interesting setup, and the overall situation psychologically reaching the 3200 level. There was a lot of talk earlier this year when we reached 3,000, and now we're making higher highs, and it looks like we could be hitting 3,200 here during today's session. And I noticed that, and I also saw a really great setup. So given the strength of the setup, and the stop is here, and our profit is here, I put in 2 positions. So for me, each position is 10 contracts, so I went in 20 contracts, since it looks like we're not that far away from hitting this level, and so I wanted to take advantage of the setup that I saw. So basically, I'm gonna right here make some notes on the chart. Before the market opened, in the cumulative delta, cumulative delta right here, to me, I consider data also before the market opened, if it makes adds to the setup, and if it makes sense. So before the market opened, it looked to me like this was accumulation. Right here. And accumulation, it looks like it's steadily building up, and it's prolonged, and that looked pretty significant to me. We had a bunch of these pullbacks and buy signals before that, but I waited until after the market opened, and after I saw this spring and the 122 buy imbalance, this means there was more buying on this down wave than selling. We had the spring, and bam, in the MBox delta is no supply, absolutely no supply here. No supply here. It's, if you look at the size of this box down and how much MBox delta volume there was almost nothing. So that in itself is an imbalance. So when I'm looking at this spring and this 122 buy imbalance, more buying than selling on this down movement, I'm also taking into great consideration this no supply, right? And before that, we saw demand right here come in. All right, so that looks like our demand. This is our no supply, and this is our buy imbalance and spring buy signal. At the same time, we can see that the cumulative delta is beginning to ramp up right here. And at the market open, we had a huge momentum on the offers. The M-Pace showed the offers coming in really strong. Base of offers. So when you see something big like this in the M-Pace, it's important to take that into consideration. This is almost like an analogy that like the train is starting to move, here. And once it starts moving, it's not so easy for it to stop. And when you combine the analysis of the M-Pace, and we see the cumulative delta ramping up, the demand in the MBox delta, plus no supply, plus the buy imbalance and the spring buy signal, it looks like our train is, engines are revving up, and it's getting ready to go. you know. And we had this, what looks to be like accumulation pre-market. So all that combined looks like, pretty strong setup to me. I'll put this on pause and I guess come back when we make more progress. Looks like we could be going up now, but we'll see what happens, and I'll come back in a little bit. Okay, so market has moved a little bit. I just got into another position. I added another position, another 10 contracts, same stop, same profit. We had this correction here. We went from 167, 150 minus 14. That looks relatively normal to me at this time. We had this, so I just got in after I saw this here in the MBox Delta. To me, this looks like effort, no result situation. And I'll explain in a second why. So this box right here, wrong color. Okay, because look at this box right here compared to this box. So effort result, usually you compare it to the box next to it. It was smaller, so there's a contraction in price, and we wasted more volume in the MBox Delta. And also not just here, but look at this minus 187, right here. This is also looks like effort, no result to me. Because this wave came down and it was a buy and imbalance 122. Here it tried really hard, minus 187, and look, there's a contraction in price, and the wave just turned into a continuation. So we know that it is effort, no result. 187, look at all these other numbers, minus 11, minus 21, 20, 49, 77, buy imbalance, and then bam, look at this. Is a lot of effort, and I don't see that the price is expanding down. It contracted, and looks like we're coming up again, so that gave credibility for adding on a position. And so now looks like our analysis is pretty confident. I don't know how long it's going to take, so I'll just pause the record and come back when we see something more. Okay, so we're back, and it looks like we're on our way. Looks like we're about a tick away from hitting the target here. So I wanted to catch this on video. This is a historic moment, by the way, because 3200 is a new sort of psychological level. It's unprecedented to this point, and it's probably inevitable we got to hit it. Backed by all this analysis, now is probably as good as time as any other. So it's always interesting when we're just waiting, literally a tick away. And after he hits this level, who knows what's going to happen? I'm sure there's got to be a lot of probably take profit levels. I'm sure I'm not the only one here. So, you know, there probably will be a correction after this point. I don't know, but, you know, it could very well be. So, you know, oh, there we go. We just made history. Reached a new level in the S&P 3200. So our daily profit loss is $8,000, $125. So that's pretty good. That's a good trading day for me. You know, one thing I get asked, you know, sometimes is, you know, oh, you know, how come, you know, I'm sure somebody's going to ask this question, so I'm just going to answer it, you know. Somebody will say, oh, what about this minus 14, right? Well, my answer is, well, what about it? You know, compared to this overall analysis that a case was made to go long, this is pretty insignificant. You know, if you compare this to a plus 122 buy imbalance, minus 14 is puny. You know, it doesn't really hold much weight. So yes, this is technically, when you have more selling than buying on an up wave, this is a sell imbalance. It does not mean that you would sell it. You know, up to this point, there isn't a case to go short. And when this came in, you know, 187, you know, maybe some people will see that as supply, but remember, real supply would be an expansion of price on more volume. This is a contraction of price on more volume. So that's why effort is wasted, and it's an effort and no result. You know, so you got to be able to determine, you know, it's always a matter, is the glass half full or half empty? And you know, if you can see that this was a contraction in price on more selling, then it is an effort and no result situation. All right, so well, that's it for me for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.